ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः शिवतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदा सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांते राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वनाथ वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुदैव च पवित्राणां भवनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome everyone to today's session on Bhagavad Gita. We'll continue from where we had stopped. We had stopped verse number 38. Okay. So in this section, in the third chapter, Arjuna asked this question that uh, okay, I need to know, I know that I need to do the right thing, but still, there is something within me that will force me to do something sinful. What is that invisible force that forces a person to still act something wrongly, something that he knows that shouldn't be done, but still he will go ahead and do it. What is that? And then Krishna says it is lust, the enjoying tendency for unrestricted and uh, against the principles, against moral ethical principles. That enjoyment is called lust. And that lust, when it is born out of contact with mode of passion and later transformed into wrath. Wrath means anger. So if the lust is not satisfied, which happens, then a person becomes angry. And we saw that lust, greed, anger are the three gates to hell. And then he says that this lust within us is covered, has covered us in different degrees. And he says there are 3 degrees. First is fire covered by smoke, mirror covered by dust, and embryo covered by womb. So here are some pictures which can help us understand. So this is fire which is covered by smoke. And this is mirror which is having dust. And here it's the baby, which is covered by the embryo. Now, which one is less covered? Which one is less covered? Where the covering is less? Where do you think the covering is less? Fire, mirror, or embryo? Where the covering is the most?
On the embryo.
Yeah, the embryo, the covering is the most, and the least is in the fire. So generally, human beings are in this condition where the smoke is covering the fire, and animals and trees, they are in these conditions. Mirror and the trees and all, they are in like an embryo. So um, so now we need to get rid of this dirt. We need to get rid of the smoke. If you see the lamp or the candle, it doesn't have smoke in it, right? So then it is very bright, it is very pleasing. But the moment we bring smoke in the picture, we can't stay, we can't breathe in it, right? Similarly, the mirror, if it has dust on it, then we cannot see ourselves clearly in it, right? So we need to remove that dust. And when the baby comes out of the womb, then only it can grow further. So the process is to remove this lust, greed, and anger. Hmm? In the fire context, it can be removed very easily. It can become smokeless. If you do something to the fire, then it can become smokeless. Use wood which is dry, then it becomes smokeless. Then mirror, we have to clean the mirror. If you clean the mirror, then the dust will go away and then we can see it clearly. And when the baby comes out of the womb, then only it can go. So there's a process to remove the lust. Sorry. Hmm. Let's get into today's verse. Avritam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kama rupena kaunteya dushpurena analena tsa. The wise living entity, pure consciousness, becomes covered by this eternal enemy of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. So lust is, it never satisfies. It burns like fire. People are not satisfied with certain things, then they keep buying, they keep experimenting with that thing again and again, right? Because lust is forcing them. So what do you think is the solution for lust? What do you think is the solution for lust? Any thoughts? Somebody is addicted. What is the solution for that? Drug addiction, alcohol addiction, work addiction. What is the solution?
Abstain from it, like slowly start getting away from it, like slow and steady. It won't happen.
Do you think just getting away from it will the person become peaceful? Like, we may have this addiction of mobile phone. Do you think just by keeping the mobile phone away from us, do we lose the addiction?
No,
Let's say,
no.
yeah. Then what is a
Uh,
better solution?
Replace that with something good,
Yes,
something good
replacement.
addiction.
Replacement is the solution. Replacement is the solution. So if instead of mobile phone, like, there was recently a news that the government in Mumbai, they what they did was, under the flyover there is a space which no one uses, so they converted that into basketball uh, pitch, playground, into a playground, small playground, like basketball is there, skating is there, and cricket is there. Now the youth in around that area, they could access now the ground and they are coming and playing over there for a few hours. And now, because they have some higher engagement, they are giving up the lower engagement. That is, the engagement of being mobile addicted is getting replaced, right? So, we need to find replacement for lust. And we have to find spiritual replacement, not just material replacement, but spiritual replacement. Okay? So, we'll see what it is. We know the answer, but we'll see. In the Manu Samhita, the lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as fire can never be extinguished by constant supply of fuel. So one thing is there. Fire cannot be extinguished with if fuel is constantly supplied, right? So it has to be regulated. In the material world, the center of all activity is sex. And thus this material world is called Maithuna Agar, or shackles of sex life. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bar. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by sex life. So in this material world, now, sex life is the highest pleasure that is there. So everyone is attracted to it. Hmm? Everyone is attracted to it. All movies, everything, even advertisements are like that. Biscuit advertisements. What they will show? One boy is eating it, and then 10 girls are running after him just because he ate that biscuit. But that's how they can sell it. In reality, if you eat that biscuit, will girls run after you? No, right? Huh? The perfume ads. They show perfume ads and they show, oh, this girl got attracted, that girl got attracted, or this boy got attracted, that boy got attracted. Like, but in reality, if we use that, it doesn't. So, that is all false, I think. Similarly, the sex life is also like that. Initially, husband and wife are very interested in sex life because it is enjoying. But afterward, the same sex life is boring, right? Everyone wants the product of the sex life. That is the child. So the child, getting the child becomes important. And after that, body doesn't support, old body doesn't support sex life. So we need to understand the reality of this enjoyment. That it is temporary, it is limited. So only use it when it has to be used, and then reduce it and replace it. Right? Mm. So in this material world, sex life is shackled, meaning to enjoy this, living entities are remaining in this world. Advancement of material civilization is based on sense gratification, means increasing the duration of material existence of a living entity. Therefore, this lust is a symbol of ignorance by which living entity is kept within the material world. When one enjoys sense gratification, it may be there is some feeling of happiness. So there is some happiness that is there. That's why everyone is running after it. But actually, the so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyment. But actually, it is the enemy. Why? Why do you think the some sense of happy feeling of happiness is the enemy? Any thoughts? Enemy means what?
Our enemy, like our opponent. Um,
Yeah, who is hostile
Not
to us?
something bad for, yeah.
Yeah, adversary, opponent, rival, nemesis. So at the start, it may look very nice, but it but at the end, it will consume us. That's the enemy. Similarly, the enjoyment, the so-called material enjoyment, is like that. That it consumes us and it distracts us from spiritual life. Very simple. If it takes away from spiritual life, then what is the problem? One may say, what I'm enjoying, right? So why should I? Why are you telling me that this enjoy material happiness enjoyment is we have to be careful of it? It's an enemy. How come it's an enemy? I want to enjoy. What is the problem? It takes away from spiritual life. Now, why spiritual life is so important? Look at this picture and you'll try to understand why spiritual life is so important. What is our real identity? Yes, what is our real identity according to Bhagavad Gita? Who we are?
Soul, our, like, we are a soul.
Yeah. So our real business should be for the soul, right? It should be spirituality, right? Now,
Hmm.
if something takes away us from spirituality, is it a friend or enemy? It's an
It is
enemy.
an enemy, guys.
Yeah. So that's how it becomes an enemy. But the point is, we require some enjoyment in this world, right? Like we have to do eating, we have to do sleeping, we have to do mating, and we have to do defending. These things we have that because the body is given to us. And then the happiness in them are the enemy. So how to deal with this enemy? Say, how do you deal with the enemy? Say you are working in a company and there is a team member who is not very, good with you. But now you have to work with it. You cannot avoid him or her. So how are you going to deal with that enemy? Any thoughts? How to deal with that enemy in your office, in a family? Some relative is actually an enemy actually. But you know what to do. In our functions, we have to involve him or her, and then they have to come. We have to see their face. How do you deal with that situation? Persons acting like enemies at office, at work. Any thoughts?
As we cannot avoid them, but like we have to participate them, but we can stay away from them mentally,
How to
or
stay away?
we would
How
just
to stay away? Because we have invited them at home, and then how can we stay away, right? That is also disrespect. So
physically we are present, but maybe we can try to not involve too much mentally or emotionally. Um, or we can just keep it to that.
yeah, we can just keep it to that level. Do the needful, right? Do the needful.
Yes.
Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Don't sit with them and spend time with them. Just say hi, hello. And that is enough. Do that work. Similarly, Krishna says something very interesting. We will go to that verse. See, this one is also there. 2.64. Regulative principles of freedom. Yeah, but this is the verse that I wanted. 17th verse. Yukta harasya viharasya. I think sixth chapter. Sixth. 6.70. So Krishna will give in the future. I mean, in the chapter sixth chapter 17th verse, he gives the solution where he says yukta ahara viharasya yukta chetasa karmasu yukta swalpa ababodhasya yoga bhaviti dukkha. One who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So, first thing is we have to regulate it. We have to keep these eating, sleeping, recreation, and work regulated. Regulated means controlled, right? Not too less, not too much. Agreed?
Yes.
Understand? Yeah. And then what will happen? Then the enemy, which gives us the pain, like, too much eating gives us pain, too much sleeping gives us pain, too less eating gives us pain, too less sleeping gives us pain. Too much recreation gives a pain, too less a recreation gives a pain, too much work gives a pain, too less a work gives a pain, right? So we have to find the balance. And that regulated won't give us the pain. Okay. And
But
then we have to
yeah.
practice the yoga system. Yeah. Any question?
Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was saying that how uh, what what advice can you give on this? For example, all this is related to time management. So anything you
oh,
would
okay,
like to
okay, okay.
share about
Sure,
this?
sure,
Like,
sure,
how can we
sure.
find a balance?
Yeah. We have discussed this. Um, we
As in,
we
like, how
have
can
discussed.
we do all of these with harmony, uh,
Yeah, true,
in a
true, true.
proper balance?
Yeah. Mm, yes. So eating. So eating like too less is a problem. We'll always be hungry. We'll be less nourished. Eating too much will make us obese, lazy. And within eating, there are foods which affect us. Like non-vegetarian foods affect our mind. They make us very passionate. You know, too much spicy food gives diseases to our body. So we should eat what is vegetarian food. And better than vegetarian food is to offer that vegetarian food to Krishna and eat the prasad. When we eat prasad, there is no sin also. So there is sin of plant killing, right? So that sin is also taken away. So for eating, we should eat prasad and we should eat vegetarian food, which is juicy, fat, nourishing to the body. Okay. Sleeping. Sleeping is, if we sleep too less, then we will feel sleepy the whole day. We'll have headaches and all that. If we sleep too much, we'll feel lazy. Then we should sleep optimum, that is 6 to 8 hours. And we should sleep in the proper time. Not like morning 6 o'clock I started sleeping. No, it is sleeping time is night. After 8:30, one should try to sleep and sleep for 6 hours, 8 hours. Get up by 4:30 and all that. As much early as possible. Okay, mating, recreation, mating. Here, um, it is to be done within marriage only, husband and wife. So that, and for what purpose? To have a child. Okay, if the mating is unrestricted, right, and if there is no children, then it will become enemy, and one won't be satisfied in it. And then to have child also, one should do garbhadan sanskar. What is that? It should have a right attitude and consciousness while having sex life. Okay, so that you get a child who is spiritually inclined, who is having good karma. Because we discussed at the time of union of the husband and wife, what is the consciousness of the husband and wife that attracts a soul from with that particular mentality and particular karma. So if the mentality and karma of the husband and wife is spiritual and morally ethical, then they will get a good child. So that's how mating it is, only for the purpose of children and within marriage. Defending one's dharma, protecting body, and defending, not excessive defending. Sometimes we go for extremes. We should do what is optimum, you know and should not get into the uh, uh, trap of like, okay, defending means I have to save something for the future. Now if I save 1 crore, if I save 100 crores, if I say 10,000 crore, you know that is just too much. So we should save according to our capacity and be focused in our spiritual life. Should not be into that defending mode always, like that. So this is how we balance it. Does this help?
Uh, yes, but uh,
Hmm.
do you think like we can achieve all this like in our day to day we can bring a proper
Yeah.
balance?
Yes. See, all devotees, right? They achieve this. All devotees achieve this. So, so in Krishna consciousness, now there is a change in lifestyle. There's a change in lifestyle. When Prabhupada started this movement in the West, in America, there were these hippies, and they were into drugs and all that. But when they came to Srila Prabhupada's contact and they chanted the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then slowly they started giving up all the bad activities and they took up to all the good activities that I've mentioned here. So it happens with
Hmm.
change of lifestyle, but more importantly, happens with association. Okay.
Yes, I get it. Yes,
Yeah. So in association, everything can happen nicely. It can change. So
yes, I get it now.
alone is not possible. Alone is not possible.
Hmm. I get it. Yes.
Okay. Now we are here in online, right? So it becomes difficult to meet face to face and all that. But if you meet face to face with devotees in the temple and all, then slowly all that changes can happen. Hmm? And it
Correct.
should happen. Eventually, it should happen.
For example, for us, do you think like us learning this once a week is enough for us to make start making a change in our life?
Sorry.
Do you think that for us to learn this just once a week, having these sessions, I'm just asking, like, for instance, if we are doing this once a week, so is this enough for us? Do you think like this association and it will
So the thing
benefit
is,
us?
it should be a daily activity, a daily practice. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
to come to daily practice, one has to start somewhere, right? Once a
Yes,
month.
yes.
Some people start with once a year. Once a year, they will come on Janmashtami to temple. And some people will start once a month, and like we are doing once a week. Now, depending on our schedule and all that, because we are in different,
Hmm. Hmm.
what to say, phases in our life. Like there is student, there's work. Then we start getting different slots in the work, right? Some have exams and all that. Then they have to wait for the exams to be done, and after that they can increase. Okay. Sometimes work is there. Then the work timings you can't be. Then after the work you have to associate, or on Saturday Sunday when you have off days, like that. So it has to be gradual. It goes gradual, and
Then how do you know that you can take it ahead? Because we at times we need, as we had discussed, that we need guidance from the right person, from the right
yeah,
guru.
yeah.
Yes. So how do you know that now you can take it ahead? And now, yeah, this is, you have learned, like maybe you can interpret this on your own as well, and you can start learning it by yourself from the side by side as well.
See, I was talking about daily practice, right? So right now we are not doing daily practice.
Hmm.
So I uh, so daily practice of spiritual life is something we have to discuss in our present, corporate Gita sessions. This daily practice is something which I can communicate.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh,
Hello.
yeah. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. There is some problem with the Zoom.
Okay. Okay.
Probably it will end in like 10 minutes. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's a 30 minutes session. You get a 25-30 minute free trial.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. But it was
We'll
paid
rejoin.
service. It was paid thing, but I don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
happened. Uh, well, we'll continue. What can
Hmm.
I do is,
We have to rejoin. Like we have to restart.
oh, okay, okay. We have to
Yeah,
restart, huh?
yeah, yeah. We have to start a fresh meeting.
Okay. So, okay. At least let's discuss till 10 minutes, and
Hmm.
then on the WhatsApp I will share a new link, and then you can rejoin. Hmm?
Okay, okay.
Actually, this is a paid session, but I don't know why. Maybe it's not upgraded, so that's why there's a problem. But anyway, the daily practice goes with like we have to first chant the holy name, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, it's like we chant 108 times this Hare Krishna Mahamantra on a bead. The bead has 100. There are the bead is like it's a string of 108 beads.
100 beads, yes.
Yeah. So we chant 108 times, and minimum of 16 times. That is, it takes 2 hours. Minimum 16 rounds. We call it rounds. And this takes approximately 2 hours. Now we have to start with something like one round, two round. We can't immediately
Hmm.
jump to 16 rounds. So we have to start with one round, two round, which will take 7 to 15 minutes every day. This is very most important part of the practice, daily practice. Then we have to follow four regulative principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. The third is we have to regularly read Gita and Bhagavatam, regularly read Gita and Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. See, when we do even these three things, right? If we associate with devotees, read Gita and Bhagavatam. Like right now, we are associating online. But when we associate with in a home setting or in a temple, it has much more experience to it. Then slowly we will increase our spiritual life, and we will gain knowledge also, and we will practice the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the meditation, as well as this Hare Krishna Mahamantra will give us spiritual energy. We need to understand the Hare Krishna Mahamantra gives us spiritual energy, and this spiritual energy carries us further in our spiritual life. Okay, so for now, this is the daily practice, which you can also try. Anybody can try. Hmm? Any question on this?
Yes, yes. This is exactly like what I want to. I don't know. I was not able to describe that. What are the daily activities we can start doing? Which,
Yes. Yeah. So these are the daily activities.
like which we can do without your help. So yeah, this is what I wanted to ask.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. This Zoom issue is, I don't know how to resolve it. It was a paid service, but yeah, some issues there. Okay. So let's go ahead with the purport. Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of material existence of a living entity. Therefore, this lust is the symbol of ignorance by which living entity is kept within the material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually, that so called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. So, we read this, that the enjoyment in this world have to be regulated. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita 16.7. He says, Yukta aharasya viharasya. There should be regulation in the habit of eating, sleeping, creation, and work. So, we read this. Okay. So, can move to next. Hmm. Now, before we move, right, I would better give you some. This Zoom call will end, so let me give you a Google Meet, and we can just change to that Google Meet. Contacts, tags. How to start Google Meet?